Election Commissioner and the 5 justices at the Supreme Court has finally come to an end. All the recommended names have been approved, as the names will now be sent to the President for the endorsement, raising speculations once again whether these hearings are just a formality as in the past. Good morning, I'm Sarah Sapsanama and these are the top stories of the hour. All the recommended names for justices at Supreme Court endorsed by Parliamentary Hearing Committee. Doors open for appointment despite alleged incapability. Foreign diplomats make unwarranted comments on internal affairs of Nepal. Government spokesperson says Nepal able to solve its issue on its own. The 448-page redacted document collated by Special Counsel Robert Mueller clarifies that there was no criminal conspiracy between US President Trump's campaign and Russia. And President Vidya Devi Bhandari officially inaugurates the 8th National Games at Mahindra Stadium in Nepalganj. The 8th National Games officially kicks off. The Parliamentary Hearing Committee yesterday granted approval for the appointment of justices at the Supreme Court without adequate investigations on their alleged involvement in financial irregularities and capacity. This comes at a time when the proposed judges had failed to answer many questions raised by the lawmakers during the hearing. Manoj Sharma, who had reached the committee for the parliamentary hearing, was questioned about his credentials. Proposed Judge Manoj Sharma, who has barely attended the courts and is a relative of former Chief Justice Damodar Sharma, struggled to furnish satisfactory answers to the question of the parliamentarians. Despite the requirement of a minimum of 15 years of legal service or adequate reputation in the judicial sector, Sharma does not meet either of the standards. He also does not qualify for the 5-year service as a judge at the High Court, since he was an additional judge for 2.5 years. Likewise, Judge Prakash Dhungana had faced serious allegation of financial irregularities. However, the members of the committee did not pay attention to Dhungana's clarification, nor did they hold serious discussions on proposed judges Kumar Regmi and Hari Fuyal. The committee did not realize any need for investigation on the allegations and endorsed all the 5 names yesterday. The parliamentary hearing was provisioned in the Constitution so as to prohibit disputed and unqualified figures reaching the judiciary ranks as justices. However, the endorsement of the disputed individuals and those failing to meet qualifications being given opportunities to become justices without any investigation has raised serious questions over the credibility of the committee itself. A number of representatives of donor agencies and envoys expressed their keen interest on the state of good governance in Nepal, citing the findings of last week's report of the Auditor General. Foreign diplomats have been expressing their common concern regarding the affairs of the peace accord. Analysts are of the opinion that such concern of foreigners in Nepal's internal affairs is unnatural. Citing the report of the Auditor General, the US Ambassador to Nepal, Randy Berry, tweeted on Wednesday, which was retweeted by his office as well. Such an expression, despite being based on the factual irregularities in spending the development budget in Nepal, is not considered appropriate coming from a foreign diplomat. This is not the first instance where an envoy from diplomatic mission has issued a comment and criticized the internal affairs on par with a native political figure. Prior to this, heads of 9 diplomatic missions, including the American Embassy, had made a joint comment on Nepal's comprehensive peace accord and transitional justice. In an extended form of the same incidents, 5 special rapporteurs of issue-specific committees of the United Nations corresponded with the Foreign Affairs Minister on Wednesday. There is no dispute on corruption and access to justice being the major issues in Nepal. It is also true that desired achievements have not been made in management of cases of the armed conflict era. However, the way in which the foreign diplomats have issued their criticisms is unwarranted. International legal provisions set by the Vienna Treaty for Diplomatic Conduct and the Diplomatic Code of Conduct issued by Nepal's Ministry of Foreign Affairs does not provide any foreign diplomat the freedom to issue comments on the country's internal affairs. Delay in awareness regarding such activities against the diplomatic norms will take the issues that can be addressed internally into the hands of the foreigners. The government has condemned UNHCR's interference over the delay in concluding the cases of insurgency period. In a letter sent to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs on Wednesday, the Office of the United Nations Human Rights Commission had expressed concerns on the fairness and transparency of the works carried out by the Truth and Reconciliation Commission and the Commission on the Investigation of Enforced Disappearance. Issuing the government's stance on a letter yesterday, Communications Minister Gokul Baskota said that a third party's doubts and comments were unnecessary and the Nepal government itself was able to settle the conflict management. Addressing the weekly press conference held to make public the government's decisions, Baskota said that Nepalese were affected by the conflict and are able to manage the issues on their own. The United Nations has raised questions on the fairness, freedom and transparency on the appointment process at both the commissions. Meanwhile, the government is to hold a Sagarmatha dialogue to inform the international community about Nepal's policies and programs. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs will coordinate the dialogue. Service seekers have been reaching the Land and Revenue Office at Baglung for various works such as transfer of land ownership among others. In this context, we asked the service seekers in Baglung's Land and Revenue Office regarding their opinion on the service delivery. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
Public voice.
अफिसमा कर्मचारी पनि हुनुहुन्छ के नमिलेको नपुगेको के हो भाइ हैन आयो आएर बल्लबैको यताउति गर्यो आखिरी बिचमा टाइम लस्टै हुन्छ
कम्प्युटर फाट चाहिँ दुईटा मात्रै भएको र काम चाहिँ सबै ओडाका सबै गाविसका कामहरु यहाँ चाहिँ गर्नुपर्ने भएको हुनाले कहिलेकाहीँ एकदमै चाप बढी भएको खण्डमा चाहिँ 2-4 दिन चाहिँ काम साधारण कागज लिएर आउँदाखेरि पनि यहाँ लाग्ने गरेको छ
एउटा ठाटमा गयो भने 5-7 वटा काम आइदियो भने उनीहरुलाई दिनभरि त्यही दिन्छ
कर्मचारीको कमी र नेटको अलिक महसुस गरिरहेको छु त्यसले गर्दा यहाँ अर्को कामहरु चाँडो बन्ने कामहरु अलि ढिलाइ भयो
And time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
And your question is, why has no concerned authority taken initiative to protect public libraries? Your options are A, no sense of value, B, lack of reading culture, and C, dominance of technology. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. And with that, it's now time for the sports news.
Sports news.
The 8th National Games was officially inaugurated yesterday evening. President Vidya Devi Bhandari inaugurated this sporting mega event during a special function held at Mahindra Stadium in Nepalganj of Province 5 yesterday. The National Games was officially inaugurated 9 days after it had begun. Minister for Youth and Sports Jagat Bishwakarma, Province 5 Chief Minister Shankar Pokhrel and Member Secretary of the National Sports Council Keshav Bishta also attended the inauguration ceremony. The ceremony was made special by performances that reflected the culture of Province 5. 7 provinces, 3 departmental teams and the team of athletes from the Non-Resident Nepalese Association featured in the march past as well. The inauguration program concluded with a display of fireworks and lighting of the Olympic torch. A total of 35 sporting disciplines are included at the National Games, which will conclude on 24th of April. 14 of the sports have already been completed. A total of 2,825 men and 2,386 women are participating at the 8th National Games. Now, Chelsea and Arsenal have made it to the semi-finals of the Europa League. In the second leg quarter-final matches played earlier this morning, Chelsea defeated Slavia Praha and Arsenal defeated Napoli to book their places in the Final Four. Chelsea had led the first leg 1-0. However, the Blues had struggled for a 4-3 win in the second leg match this morning to win 5-3 on aggregate. In the match played at their home ground, Stamford Bridge, Chelsea took an early lead in the 5th minute through Pedro's goal. Chelsea's lead doubled after Slavia's Simone Deli scored an own goal. Olivier Giroud scored in the 17th minute to extend Chelsea's lead by 3 goals. Thomas Soucek scored a goal for Slavia in the 25th minute to reduce the deficit to 3-1. However, Pedro added another goal for Chelsea in the 27th minute to make it 4-1. Despite leading by 3 goals, the second half was tougher for the Blues. Slavia went all out to come back in the game with Peter Sevcic scoring brace to make it 4-3. Sevcik scored in the 51st and the 54th minute. However, his effort was not enough to change the game. The match ended at 4-3 to give Chelsea a 5-3 win on aggregate, sending them to the semi-finals of the Europa League. Chelsea will now see German club Frankfurt on 2nd of May in the semi-finals. Frankfurt had defeated Benfica in the quarter-finals to enter into the semis. Likewise, in another match, Arsenal, that already had a 2-goal advantage from the first leg quarter-final, clinched a 1-0 win over Napoli in the latter's home ground. Alexander Lacazette scored the only goal for the Gunners in the 36th minute. Arsenal will now see Spanish club Valencia in the semi-finals. Valencia had defeated Villarreal in the quarter-finals by 5-1 on aggregate. And that's all for the moment. Keep watching Kantipur TV HD for more news and entertainment. Have a great day ahead.